All right, good afternoon. Hopefully everyone's still doing well. Wanted to give you an overview on how to use your planisphere. A lot of you have built it and have no idea what to do with it at this point, which is totally understandable. So first, this is your planisphere. A few things that you need to know, and these are definitions that go along with the worksheet. All right, one of those important things is the horizon. The horizon is where the land meets the sky. So if you look just out across, wherever you see the sky, it touches the ground, that's the horizon. On your planisphere, your horizon is this part, all right around there. Right? And if you notice, it says southern horizon, eastern horizon, western horizon, northern horizon. Right? That is depends on which direction that you happen to be looking. If you're looking north, south, east, or west. So that's one very important part. The other important thing to note on there is what is called the zenith. The zenith point is the point directly above your head in the sky. So if you go from the top of your head and you go straight up, that's where the zenith is at. The zenith and the horizon make a 90-degree angle to each other. So if you can point straight out to where the sky touches the ground and then straight up, right, you're going to look at 90 degrees of the sky that way. Now, what you should normally be able to see, if you think of it as we're all inside of a globe, a big circle, right? If you look from left to right and then you look up, you look straight out, you're going to be able to see 180 degrees of the sky, right? And your zenith point is that top point, right? And the idea is that you can't really look. I mean, you can tilt your head backwards and look, but it's very difficult, and you're not really going to want to use your planisphere or to observe the sky that way. You're going to, get a neck ache and that sort of thing. Now, it is important to know where the zenith is on a planisphere or on a sky chart or anything like that, or any sort of star chart or whatever that you happen to be using. On your planisphere, the zenith is actually right here in the middle. It's the middle point on that planisphere. It is not on my planisphere. I've got the fastener there, which is allowing me to spin this. That is not the zenith. It is a completely different point. On my planisphere, the zenith is actually Polaris. It's the North Star. I'm sorry, not the zenith. The fastener is actually the North Star. All right. The zenith is a point that is in the middle, right there. All right. The fastener is actually where Polaris is. That's the North Star. The North Star is only at your zenith point in one place on Earth, and that is at the North Pole. If you're standing at the North Pole, the North Star or Polaris should be directly above your head. So when you look straight up, you would see Polaris. Where we are at about 42 degrees north latitude. All right, and so that makes Polaris about halfway up in the sky between the horizon and our zenith point. The farther north you go, right, the higher up Polaris actually is in the sky. Polaris is something that you can use to figure out what latitude you happen to be at. There. Now, as far as figuring out, okay, how do I have this thing? How do I use it? All right, you do need to understand where the zenith is, the point directly above your head. You also need to understand where the horizon is. The other thing you need to note is on the outside part of this wheel, it gives you months with some days. And then on the inside part of the holder, it gives you times. This is set up to tell you what the sky will look like at a certain time on a certain date throughout the year for about our latitude where we are. So if you first pick the date, like today happens to be March 24th, I'm going to spin this wheel, all right, until I find March. Going the wrong way here. There we go. All right, and it's not dark until about 9. So I'm going to set this up so that March 24th, it's at 9 p.m. over here. All right, there's 9 p.m. It's pointing at about where March 24th is. Turn and look at this, will be a little bit easier. There we go. Okay. So right now, you can see 9 p.m. is pointing at about where March 24th is. This is what, if you went outside tonight, this is what the sky would look like, depending on which direction you have me looking at. Now, the way this is set up is if you want, depending on which way you're looking, you want to set up the horizon to be there. The way this is set up now is if I was looking at my planisphere outside tonight, just like this, I would be looking south. depending on what direction you're looking at, you're going to turn this. So for example, if I am looking north, I would turn this upside down. Right? Polaris would be about halfway up in the sky. Right? My zenith point is still here in the middle. Everything up here would actually be behind me in the southern sky. So I'm pretty much able to see everything that is down here with that. Zenith, point directly above my head. I can see down to the horizon, the southern horizon, or the northern horizon, sorry. If I was looking west, let's say I was looking to where the sun just set, right? I'm going to put the western horizon down there at the bottom as well. Okay, if I was looking east, same idea. Now, there are some questions that we ask you on the worksheet that goes along with this, where it asks, like, you know, what is this what constellation is on the horizon, or what constellation is at the zenith? Right, one of the first questions on our worksheet asks about what constellation is closest to the zenith tonight when you go outside, like around 9 p.m., right? And so our zenith, remember, is over here in the middle. So you'd want to pick whatever constellation is closest to it, right? Which appears to be, Cancer is pretty close, and so is Gemini at those points. So when we ask for different things like, what constellation is on the eastern horizon at 8 a.m. on June 5th, okay, you can go and you can turn this planisphere to set up, whatever time on June 5th to see what you need to see, right? And you'd be looking for constellations that are, right there along that black line. Now, when it comes to rising and setting, all right, the way the sky works is everything moves from east to west. So as everything and the stars go over top of us, they are moving from the eastern horizon over here to the western horizon over here. So you have to imagine that this is the way the sky is spinning over your head at night. So if we ask you, like, what constellation, will be setting, or what time does a certain constellation set, you want to look at, okay, what time does whatever constellation go below the horizon? Things are considered to have set when they go below the horizon. They're considered to have risen when they go above the horizon. So hopefully that helps explain this a little bit more. If you still have questions, please let me know, and we will be able to talk about them. Hope everyone is doing well, and I will talk to you later.